Hey folks, BlackCross here, and I know this is going to be kind of weird for an episode of Final Fantasy 15, but I figure I'd go ahead and talk about some of the stuff that I kind of encountered while doing a lot of the side quests. And believe me when I say this, this game has a lot of side quests that you're going to be doing throughout the entire game. But first things first, you're probably wondering what's going on in the scene right here. And basically what had happened is that during one of the missions, or trying to get to said missions and complete them and everything like that, these little events just sort of kind of showed up. The first one that you're looking at right now is where Noctis is interacting with Gladius. And these little events occur from time to time, and they're a good source of actually getting some extra experience as well as some extra AP. And by extra AP, I mean like 20 points of extra ability points. And it's really, really good to have these abilities up and running to where that way you're able to get them and get your ascension higher up, as to pers, I suppose you could say. And honestly, I just liked how this one was just sort of like it was. But during this section, I didn't know if I just had to run or if the game would let me use my warping ability to get through the game. And as you find out in this little clip, it actually works. So needless to say, it was very effective, and I was able to complete the mission relatively easy to some degree. Even though it's not really a mission, it's more of a side effect, I suppose you could say.
With stakes. If you lose, you have to train with me every day.
Then I can't lose, can I?
That there's the goal. Now let's get started. Ready, set, go.
Ah! Piece of cake.
Hey, you're not doing so bad.
Piece of cake.
Hey, you're not doing so bad.
Yes!
Well done, Noct. There's no way Specs can complain when you come back to camp this early. Encrusted in sand. Make sure you act nice and smug when you see him.
Yeah. If this doesn't shut Ignis up, I don't know what will. I gotta say, though, it's kinda nice at this hour.
Even if that's all you take from this, that's good enough for me. Come on. Let's go. Good hustle out there.
Yeah, I know. I'm awesome.
Okay, so in this next clip right here, again, just like it was with the Gladius scene, I was still trying to do a lot of the side missions, a lot of the hunts as well, and I ended up actually having this conversation with Prompto. And what makes this interesting is the fact that, considering I had already watched Brotherhood, I had already known about Prompto to some extent, and honestly this conversation, it was just interesting to just interact with and get a little bit more in-depth as to how Prompto felt, because Prompto is kind of the oddball of all four of them. Like, Ignis and Gladius is actually part of the king's court, as I should probably point out. Noctis is the prince, Gladius is the shield of the king's shield, and Ignis is sort of like an advisor, I suppose you could say. But Prompto isn't any of the kingdom's or the king's partial adversary. He's literally just a friend that has just sort of hanged around Noctis up to this point. And it was kind of interesting to see how he just kind of explained how he didn't feel like he was part of the group and that he was just a mess up. And in all honesty, it was really worth it to me. Like, I really enjoyed having this inner character development going on, and it was really just... funny thing was, it wasn't planned. It was just a random type scene. And had you continued through the main game, never knowing about it, it probably would have made less sense for some players. But for players like myself, who actually tries to complete the game and everything like that, random scenes like this is what really makes the game stand out. A real, like, story-driven game where you get, like, miniature storylines from time to time. And honestly, that's what makes this scene just the more enjoyable, is just the fact that you get to interact with all of the characters and you actually get an in-depth background of what goes on behind their world, or for your world, for that matter. I guess what I'm trying to say is I enjoy small stuff like this.
When I felt, well, worthless.
That's what's been bugging you?
I mean, when you look at me, you wouldn't think that I'm anything but a fun-loving, happy-go-lucky joker. But that isn't the real me. Behind all the quips and laughs, I'm a mess of hang-ups. I've always felt inferior to you guys. I'm not royalty, and I'm not strong. I'm nothing, really. Unlike Gladio, I'm not good with people. The way he connects with them, he's operating on a different level. Unlike Ignis, I'm not smart, and I can't cook to save myself. But when we hang out, it's so much fun. I forget what I'm not. Then reality hits me like a splash of cold water, and I remember that I don't belong. But I want to. Every moment, I'm desperate to earn my place, to prove that I'm good enough.
Think what you will, but I think you're good enough for me.
So, you really think I'm doing okay?
Yeah, I do. Anything else?
No, nothing at all. I'm sorry I got so real all of a sudden.
You should know better by now. You think I just make time for any old loser?
Huh? Why, you mad, bro? Seriously, though. Thanks for making time for this loser. Feels good to get that off my chest.
Happy to hear.
All right, I'm gonna keep on keeping on the only way I know how.
Yeah, you do that.
Okay, so now we're entering the part where we're going to be doing like some of the main game stuff, like some of the hunts and some of the like side quests and stuff. And basically, what happens here is that this particular hunt, I thought just was unusual, but at the same time, it was such a dramatic fight. I was like, what the fuck? How do I fight this thing? I really had no idea how this was going to play out. All I knew was that warp jumping was the only way I could get to him. And then I used Prompto a lot because I knew there would be no way that I could get him down unless I was just like really, really in good shape with MP. But because I was low on MP, I wouldn't be able to keep up with it. But occasionally it did come down to the ground. And as you can kind of see, I kind of was doing crappy during this fight and everything like that. But this fight in general, this, I guess you can call it hunt boss, I suppose is the word to say. It was really interesting and I really enjoyed it. It just it was so much fun. If you've already seen it, then you know where I'm getting at. It kind of reminds you of the High Wind boss fight. That one girl from the Empire. I think her name is Armana. I think Armania. Anyway, the point is that it kind of reflected in that fight, and this was actually before that fight. So just to fight someone in the air, I was just like in awe as to like what was going on. And then here I am, all of a sudden, I fight her, and then I'm like, holy crap, this game is amazing. And just to have this scene right here before that fight, it kind of tells you that, hey, mid-air combat is a thing. You just have to, as the phrase would go, be good. Get good at it. But yeah, this fight was just really awesome in my personal opinion.
The Prince of Pain.
Yep.
Now, for any Final Fantasy fan, Adamantius are giant turtle-like creatures that just sort of kind of started appearing into the franchise. I don't know how long they've been around. I know I think they started right at 10, I want to say, but they may have been around since before then. I don't know, but since then, Final Fantasy 13, they have become like the pinnacle boss of just hard to take down. And this one's no different. The Adamantius is this giant turtle, which basically is a mountain, and you're expected to fight this. And as you can clearly see, it is at level 99, so I'm not doing any form of damage at all. Like, if I was doing damage, it's not really noticeable. But I was just kind of like, how do I go about fighting this thing? This is insane. I'm not sure how you're supposed to go about it, but the funny thing was, this was just a side quest to discover where the quakes were coming from. And this is what it led to. But as you will see in a little bit, actually, it turns out that this will become an actual hunt that you get to fight later on. And I am nowhere near ready to fight this thing. I mean, I may be at the current gameplay that I'm going at right now. I'm at like level, I want to say 58. There is no way I could go toe to toe with that boss. And as you can just see right there, I was at level 47. So I'm a little farther away in the game than where I'm at in this video currently right now. But I mean, it's just, holy crap, the fact that you actually have to fight this thing later on. Well, not have to, but you get to fight it. I'm just saying that when I get to the point of actually fighting it, I just hope that I'm actually ready to fight it. Because as you will see later on, this thing is bigger than the Titan summon. Yes, it is bigger than the Titan summon. And mind you, the Titan is pretty big. And to know that this thing is bigger than that son of a bitch is, oh gosh, that's going to be an interesting fight to go for. So that is definitely going to be a future episode that you will get to see. But I just figured I'd go ahead and show you this before that comes up, because quite frankly, this game is just full of like amazing and at the same time insane stuff that goes on.
Prompto! Hold your ground. This can't be. Iggy's looking pretty rough.
Okay, so this next scene right here needs some explanation. Originally, I was in this area trying to find a gem for Dino. As some of you may or may not know, Dino is the reporter guy who sends you out to get a gem to where you don't get blackmailed and everything. And he does actually give you some pretty good accessories for free just by completing the main assignment itself. Although, in this case, the area that I went through, I had actually discovered a tomb of the kings. And I was like, oh, okay, so there are optional swords of the kings that I may be missing. And towards the end of the game, I finally realized that there are a lot of optional areas. Like, you don't even get all of the swords unless you go through every side quest. And that is the part that I'm going to try to do. The only problem is I may end up having moments like this where I just completely oversee a side quest and I think, oh, there's nothing here, I'm just getting a gem. And then I uncover this area where it basically says, hey, destroy the mysterious monster of this area. And it's like, why? And as you find out towards the end of the dungeon, I suppose you can call it a dungeon, I'm not sure, but as you find out, there's actually a Tomb of Kings at the end of it all, and it's like, oh, yeah, that might be important. I might need to consider doing that, so to speak. But at any rate, though, yeah, the Tomb of Kings is right over there. I basically killed this one, and I was able to get the Tomb of Kings. And the weapon itself is the Shuriken, and the Shuriken had made an appearance in the Final Fantasy Platinum demo. And when I saw this thing, I was like, okay, I know how this works. And it works very much the same way, except just like with any of the arms you use, you lose HP to some degree. So fewer discretion. If you do use this weapon, be prepared to lose a lot of health in the process of it.
Here too rests the power of kings. I wonder how many more remain.
This area, again, another major side quest that I overlooked and I absolutely missed out. Had I known this, I would have saved this for a future video where I was traveling through this area, because this area is such a maze. It was freaking ridiculous. I kept getting lost, I kept getting myself sidetracked, and all I was doing at the time was looking for a pair of headlight bulbs for my car. Cindy sends you on these missions to help your car get upgraded to where not only it would be more fuel efficient, but in this case it would have high beams that would prevent demons from spawning in front of you and stopping you from driving, which that to me is very crucial, especially when you're going through like an entire event of just getting quests done back and forth and everything like that. The last thing you need is demons just kind of slow you down. And at this point I was kind of like, where are they anyway? And all of a sudden I end up actually getting stuck in between this big snakehead thing and then another obstacle. And the obstacle was this, is that as soon as I beat this thing, which you'll find out in a second how it does die, because quite frankly on my own I was just having a little bit of trouble. But on the other hand though, Ramna came and saved my ass. But after I found out where this area was going with and everything like that, I discovered something. And as you can see right here in this scene, for some reason or another, there is actually a door with what looks like 4 key icons. These 4 key icons you have to have unlocked in order to unlock this door for a particular side quest. And by side quest, I mean a side secret boss. And I thought this was really cool. I discovered this just by pure coincidence and accidents. And I thought to myself, I was like, whatever this is hiding, I want real badly. So I was like, okay, let's just try to find all the key paths and everything like that, and we can unlock it. And the key path is basically the terminal that you just saw. But for some reason or another, when I finally did get all 4 of them unlocked and everything like that, I discovered something unforeseen. And that unforeseen event was this amazing boss that I was like, oh, I wish I was recording this, but instead I failed to record it. But it was amazing. It was so freaking amazing as a boss fight, and this was just really entertaining to me. But the biggest thing I think a lot of people are going to be asking is, what do you get out of this? Like, is there anything major that you get out of this boss other than like completing a side quest and getting like a lot of experience and stuff? The answer is no. You don't get anything major for it. In fact, as far as I know, those items that it drops, you don't get anything for it. But the crazy thing about that particular boss is the fact that after you, as you're fighting it and everything like that, I got to summon Ramna again, but as you saw, it literally survived. It literally survived the onslaught attack of Ramna. And if that particular enemy could survive it, that means there are other bigger, tougher enemies that can survive a frickin' summon's attack power. And it's like, oh, crappy doodle, I may be fucked. But honestly, I did survive, I did beat it, and it was amazing. Absolutely loved it.
Gladius! Watch yourself, Noct.
Get ready for pain.
Yeah!
Knocked. Get ready to finish it. Try not to get spun around.
Ignis! I've just the thing. Do it!
Here we go. Over here.
All right. I owe you one. Nailed it!
Yep.
Thanks.
And that's that.
It's over.
Impressive.
Now before we end this video, there is one thing I do want to talk about that I just absolutely gaw over. And by gaw, I mean I fangasm. I absolutely, as a gamer, I rarely get to see offense like this. In fact, they're never programmed into it. And in an open world concept, you would think eventually you would. But I'm going to let you see the scene, and I'm going to tell you immediately, when you see this, does this make you literally fangasm?
Check it out! A whole herd.
Beasts in their natural habitat.
I do not know why, but just seeing that alone makes me enjoy the game that much more. It's just that small attention to detail of programming the AI to do random events like that makes it all the more worthwhile. So thank you so much for watching my little bonus set series. I'm just going to call this particular set the Chocobonus. I know I should be punished for that one, but I just felt clever when I said this. But I hope you enjoyed this, so thank you so much. And if there are more stuff like this, I will be sure to make a video about it. Just hang tight and remember that I do these side quests because I didn't think that they were important to the main quest at hand, only to later on found out that they are. So, hope you accept my apologies. But thank you so much for watching, and thank goodness the PlayStation 4 has a feature to where I can save stuff like this, and you get to see them even though I didn't actually record live footage of it. But thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video. BlackCross signing off. Take care, guys.